upside in here, even if we have a bearish down summer. All right, y'all, we are live finally on this beautiful Monday morning. May the Lord bless everybody in the name of Jesus, Yeshua, the Messiah. Even if you are not religious, I still pray you and your family are super blessed, as today marks a new day, and today also marks a new week, and today is the day and the week which we will be experiencing the beginning of a massive move, as the title of the video says today. Huge signal confirmed. All right. This next huge move will shock you. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, because as usual, guys, if we can get 1,000 likes within the first half hour, we will be giving away $1,000. All right. That's pretty crazy. $1,000. Now, of course, people in the chat talking about how Bitcoin's dumping. They're preparing for dumping week. All right, but look, we're still long, we're still strong from the setup given in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. Setup given in advance, long taken publicly, and we are riding it out, baby. And we're going to be talking about the signals that are confirming right now. We're going to talk about the weekly close, the upcoming monthly close, and why I believe a massive move is coming up. All right, I'm more excited than that time me and Carl from the Moon drove to McDonald's in his Maserati to get a Big Mac meal. I'm feeling more confident than I was feeling this morning when I got dressed for work and I took a little mirror selfie in my uniform. Feeling pretty good. All right, I'm feeling it today, guys. All right, so make sure if you're feeling it too, smash up the dang likes. All right, because this is going to be crazier than that potato that I picked from my garden the other day. Okay. We got to give a major shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to my man, MAGA Max Cherry. He says the 30th of the month, even though there's 7 days in a week, 4 weeks in a month. Something's not quite right about the calendar, man. Shout out to Falusi. Did you short the top, JC? Yeah, I shorted the top, but not this top. Shout out to Mistress. He says, we're LON.G, baby. We're LON.G. Shout out to Derek Kong. Shout out to Nick Flip. He says Bonner fleeing. Bonner fleeing. Shout out to Crypto Coons holding it down with a wrench. Shout out to Renato. He says a few guys managed to be jacked and wealthy. I'm still working on the ladder. You are the man. Well, yeah, you know what? That is true, I think, right? That's because I think muscles take away the blood from your brain. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm so crazy. But you know what keeps me sane is coffee from my Market Cipher mug. Shout out to Crypto Face. Shout out to Market Cipher. All right, guys, this is what keeps me sane. It's all the coffee I'm drinking here. Let me take another sip. Man, that is nuts. That is nuts. All right, guys, we also got to give a major shout out to Bullish on Parade, and we got to give a major shout out to WEEX, guys. If you want to trade Bitcoin and altcoins with the super low fees, WEEX, link in the description. Also, if you're looking for a decentralized exchange with very low fees, the Antarctic. Also, guys, BLOFIN. If you're looking to trade Bitcoin and altcoins on BLOFIN, make sure to check it out because they have 20% cash back and all that good stuff. All right, so let's pop right into the chart here. Let's pop into the chart. Aha, where's the chart? Aha! The chart! I see the chart here. Okay, there are two things. Oh no, I'm already German and the stream is only 5 minutes in. That's not good for the viewers. That's bad for the viewership and the subscribership. Okay, so we will take a look at the chart without a German accent in the morning. Okay, look at this, guys. All right, look at this. There's a few things we need to talk about. Thing number one is last week's weekly candle close. A bullish engulfing candle. Okay, we came up to resistance, which was this, the value area high of the range. We got a little bit of a rejection. And then we have a bullish engulfing weekly candle closing above the value area high of the range. All right, we're just going to zoom out here and take a look at this from a high time frame perspective. 107.426. This was our very, very key level. This is the value area high of the range. This is where the majority of the volume was traded below. And so historically speaking, anything above this is considered overvalued for Bitcoin. Well, what happened? We came to the overvalued zone. Market tries to push us back into the range. We can't even come to the POC. Instead, we get a bounce right from the Fibonacci Golden Pocket 786 zone. And we close the weekly candle bullish back above that high volume node. So objectively speaking, the candle close was bullish. All right. Now, what else is very interesting is tonight, we have the monthly candle close, okay, for June. Now, there's a few things. First of all, May, we had a confirmed green dot on Market Cipher B on the monthly. Now, 9 out of 10 times, this does mean that we end up making a higher high the following month. We have 1 day for that 9 out of 10 to continue, all right? If we don't make a higher high today, that's not going to happen. Then we're going to say it's a 9 out of 11 chance, okay? But what I do see here, and what is quite interesting, is the fact that although we confirmed a very bearish sign on the weekly 2 weeks ago, we're actually seeing this money flow getting really thick here on the weekly. It actually looks really nice. We go to the 5-day, look at this green dot with the money flow. We go to the 4-day, we have confirmed the bullish green dot. We go to the 3-day, confirmed, and look at the 2-day here. Look at the money flow getting thick, and look at the space that this momentum wave has here for more room to the upside, right? When I say space to the upside, I mean Market Cipher B has these two waves. It has the light blue and the dark blue. When they're far away from each other, like see how right here the dark blue and the light blue, they cross, right? That means when they're starting to come close, that means the red dot is about to print soon. When they're far away, that means there's room for the upside, okay? So we are potentially breaking out of this area with these high time frame bullish kind of signals here, okay? However, and there's always a big smelly butt here. There's always a big smelly butt. We are obviously at our resistance, okay? We are at the 786, the value area high. We've got ourselves a little zone of resistance here, and it is a Monday after a weekend, okay? False move Monday, all that kind of stuff. So I do have to say this. I am leaning bullish based on our high time frames, but I do understand that Mondays after weekends, you can get volatility that gets a lot of people wrecked who traded over the weekend, all right? So we are about to potentially confirm another green dot on the weekly with thick money flow. We've already confirmed the green dot on the monthly. The 6-day, the 5-day, the 4-day, the 3-day, the 2-day, and the 1-day are all looking like more upside here is very possible. Okay? And so because of that, I have to come in here with a bullish bias and say, you know, even if we get a dump, I'm going to be looking to buy the dip. And just a quick notification, a quick disclaimer, this ain't no financial advice, all right? If you think this is financial advice, be prepared to lose everything. Your Bitcoin, your Ethereum, your fiat currency. Your wife will leave you. Your girlfriend will dump you because she found out you had a wife. All right, you're gonna stub your toe on the bed in the middle of the night when you're getting up to pee. You're gonna scream real loud. It's gonna wake up the whole house. Your baby's not gonna sleep. You're not gonna sleep. It's gonna be a horrible day tomorrow. And of course, please, if you think this is financial advice, screenshot this. And remember, this is what you're taking advice from. What kind of a creature is this? But I am in buy the dip mode, and I'm prepared to long. I'm prepared to put my money on the line, to put my money where my mouth is, because in the Casper crew, we just don't talk about it, right? We don't just talk about it, no. We talk about it, and we put our money where our mouth is. We take the trades, all right? We take the trades. Now, we're going to talk about a few things that could happen, because this price action here has been disgusting, to say the least. It's happened on low volume. It's happened on a decrease of open interest. We haven't seen real money come in to push the price to the upside. We have not seen that, all right? And so that means be prepared for quick wicks, baby. For quick wicks, baby. We're going to be talking about where the quick wicks could go, all right? It's so easy in these little ranges to get chopped up. You know what I'm saying? You could quickly, you could end up feeling like this, to feeling like this, to feeling like this. All right? You could be on top of the world. Next thing you know, you're strung out on coffee, haven't cut your hair in 3 weeks. It's only been 2 days. Next thing you know, you're on the bathroom floor, sock on the head, glassy eyes, unibrow, 12-year-old Amish kid beard, looking like Jason Yoder here, trying to sell some shoe fly pie to the English. All right? Now here we are, back on our charts. All right? What do we want? We do want to see a juicy pump here on Bitcoin. But let's talk about it over here, all right? Make sure to smash the likes. We got over 900 people in the house. We only have 100 likes. We only have 2 likes, guys. We only have 2 likes, and we have over 9,000 people in the house with 2 likes. Come on. We only have 1 like. We have 1 million viewers. Come on, man. Come on. I'm trying to see right now if we have any news today. Real quick. Shout out to everyone who smashed the likes. God bless everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much, guys, for spending the time to watch the stream. We don't really have any news happening today, but tomorrow, the 1st of July, Jerome Powell's going to speak at 9:30 in the morning, right when New York opens. We get some volatility tomorrow. We don't have any crazy stuff going on here. Okay, so I know you guys can't see that. That's fine. All right, so here we go. What are we looking at? Well, we got to go down into our local range here. Remember, the context of this whole thing is that we did come down to a key zone of support. We came up, we got a nice back test, and now we're actually making higher highs. And we're doing so with major continuation patterns printing on our higher term time frames after we printed an extremely bullish bottom back in April. So in my opinion, the chart just looks bullish in general. But now we've had this weird range up here. So what we can do, what we should do, is the following, right? We can identify, okay, it's been a weekend, it's been Chop City. What do we need to be prepared for as traders? Well, whenever you see a sideways range, you always need to take note of the highs and the lows of that sideways range. And you say to yourself, aha, would you look at this? Would you look at this? We have ourselves a clearly defined sideways range with the middle point being the value area high of the macro range, right? Isn't this cool? We have ourselves a sideways range clearly defined, our high around 108.7, our low around 106.3, with the middle point being the value area high of the macro range. This now gives us everything we need to look for trades. Now, if we pull our fib from low to high, and we go ahead and turn on our Fibonacci golden pocket, and we also have our higher term time frame Fibonacci pulled from the all-time high to the low. You can see that not only do we have a sideways range here, But underneath our sideways range, we have key fib levels, right? We have key fib levels that have been untapped. So what does this mean? This means this is a recipe for stop hunts and good trade setups. Because whenever you see a sideways range, you understand that the best trades are always going to happen from the highs and the lows of the sideways range. Most of the time, the asset is ranging sideways. Most of the time. It's rare that we get a big move up or a big move down. This kind of stuff is rare, guys. A move like this can only happen if... a move like this can really only happen if Jason Casper draws a picture of it on his chart and then takes the long. All right. Other than that, most of the time, the price action is just going to be trading sideways. And so understanding this means we can be set up for those good trade setups. So right now, we do need to be prepared for a few things. We need to be prepared for a massive drop in the price, first of all, when New York opens, because underneath all these higher lows here, guys, whenever you see something like this where you can draw a trend line, you have to think to yourself, because a lot of people look at trend lines and they think, aha, we'll just trade the trend line, right? Wrong. Well, it can work. It can work. But you need to have a lot of confluence with that trend line. In general, when you're looking at a local sideways range and you see a trend line, you're asking where's the best trade setup, it's going to be what's going to wreck the most people. In this instance, what is going to wreck the most people who twice have been expecting a big break, have been faked out twice, is going to be to stop hunt everybody. Now think about this. Everybody who longed here, still not even stopped out. Everybody who longed here, not stopped out. Anybody who longed this whole way up, even with the big pumps and dumps, even on 100x leverage, still not stopped out. So if you're a big player and you want to buy a market Cipher mug 23 ounce, I'm sorry, you want to buy some Bitcoin. You want to buy some Bitcoin on the cheap. Where are there going to be a lot of sellers who are going to be selling cheap Bitcoin? It's going to be the long trade stopped out, because when your long gets stopped out, that's a sell order. You know, you take a trade, you go out to play with your kids on the trampoline. You're like, man, I caught the bottom. Ha! Suckers! Market makers think they're going to get me. You're jumping on the trampoline with your kids, all of a sudden, notification on the phone. MEXC. Buy order filled. What? Sell order filled. What? Sell order filled? I didn't sell Bitcoin. What's going on? You open up the app, you check it, your open position. It's not there. Where could it go? Oh no. Stopped out. Oh my goodness. Took a loss. It was a sell order. Guess what? The market makers are right there to buy my sell order. I was on the trampoline. I thought I was bouncing. Just kidding. Market makers playing games with me. Like, Jay, you think you're going to bounce on the trampoline? We'll stop you out and then show you a real bounce, baby. All right? So this is where, like, it's likely to happen down here. Not only that, but we have a Fibonacci 618 and a 786. So we have Fib confluence and we have stop losses. Whenever you have stop losses and Fibonacci confluence, I'm telling you, that's the ultimate mixture. It's the ultimate mixture for giving you a fat, juicy pump. Like you just did supersets of curls in the squat rack to get that juicy bicep pump. The vein sticking out. You know, you don't even know if your dang arm's gonna stay on. All right, that's what happens when you bounce on the trampoline with an open trade and there's stop losses and Fibonacci's below the level. Okay? It's quite simple. It's scientific. Make sure to like the stream, which is also scientific. All right? The tone from MEXC is scary. I have some weird tones for my trading view. My trading view alert on my phone is the kind of sound that will wake you up in the middle of the night with a very fast heart rate. It just spikes the cortisol. It spikes the cortisol, all right? Dopamine, cortisol, and all the other hormones that it destroys your melatonin. It's guaranteed to lower your testosterone down to 0 so that you can wake up and never sleep again and watch the charts forever, drinking coffee from your market Cipher mug. Some good stuff. Now, also, here's the deal. Remember, it's a Monday. It's a false move Monday. So what do I actually expect? I expect even if we get a big move today, we're probably going to end up somewhere around here tomorrow. That's what I probably expect, right? Even if we get a big pump, probably going to end up around here tomorrow. And you get a big dump, probably going to end up around here tomorrow. But we do have to understand locally, even if we get a big pump today, guess what? We're coming up to the macro 786 around 109. The macro 786. This is no local 786. All right, this is a big term time frame. 786. All right, we go to the high time frame here. We can see if we pull the fib from the all-time high to the low that we made down here in June, that the 109, 127 on Bitget, that's a big high time frame, 786. All right, it's also an old weekly level. So because this whole range has happened with very low volume, you know, we could see big movements in here just if a little money comes in, right? Now, again, this is like for Monday stuff, but in general, I have to say I'm feeling bullish. So we get a dump, or even if we get a pump, and then a dump, I'm definitely going to be looking for a bounce around here. All right? Because this here, to me, is simply just coming down to the bottom of the range, and then in hindsight, we'd be like, oh yeah, how could I have missed it? We just came to support. Why was I so bearish at support? Oh, right? That's place numero uno to be looking. But place numero dos is this. All right, we're talking about stop loss. You want to talk about stop losses? You want to talk about bouncing on a trampoline with your kids with your sell order filled? Look at this. All right, we have lots of stop losses here. And really, when we take a look at this, we've got ourselves lots of stop losses, but underneath those stop losses is what? Is a huge support level. All right, we could literally take it back to May, where we have this low, and then you can see, actually, once we lost it, we back tested it as resistance, and then we broke out above it, okay? So this level down here is also a very key zone to be aware of in the event of a big drop. Now, you might say, Jason, why would you still be bullish? What kind of an idiot treadmill walking moron would still be bullish after another rejection from the trend line? Wouldn't you expect a lower low? Yes, it's a real possibility that we get the lower low. I'm not going to rule that out. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to look for a bullish signal down here at this level. See, here's one thing you have to understand. When it comes to trading, if you want to be a good trader, you cannot predict what's going to happen. You have to say, yeah, I recognize the rejection could give us a lower low. But I also recognize this is key support and the high time frames are bullish and the high time frames are telling me more upside is possible and probable. And so what you do is you plan. You say, look, if we come down to that green box and I see certain things on the chart, draw it out. This is what I do every day. All right, I draw out what could happen. I draw out what I want to see my oscillator look like. And so if it happens and my oscillator looks the way I want, then I can take a trade, all right? Because the morning that I planned for this trade, I was leaning more bearish than bullish. But when new data came onto the chart, I was able to change my bias, or at least locally say, there's a high probability of a bounce from this level, right? And so, of course, I take the trade. And what do you know? We get the bounce. And it's a big bounce. Right? Because I'm telling you, if you're trying to trade and you're trying to predict, you're going to get wrecked. Or you're going to lose it all. But if you can plan and be prepared and take the trades with good risk management, that's how you're going to have the success. All right, go to my YouTube channel, go to playlists, check out the free trading course. If you want to learn all this stuff, check out the free trading course. 16 sessions for free that will walk you through exactly how to set up a trading plan so that you can be prepared for anything. All right, super important. So we have to understand that yes, we're looking for a bounce from that first level if we see certain bullish things. If we lose that, then we're looking down toward the green box, this historic support resistance flip around 103. And if this doesn't hold, then we can say, okay, you know what? 97K is the most probable level next. Right? So we are taking it level to level. And what are we looking for at these levels? We're looking for something on our indicators that are telling us whether or not to pull the trigger, right? If you want to be successful, again, what you need to do is you need to have a plan, right? So what you plan out every aspect of your trade, every single aspect. If this is the level we're looking to long, then that means we can plan our entry. That also means we can plan our stop loss, right? Because if we know where we're looking for the bounce, that means we also know that we're not playing the game of maybe it'll go back up, maybe it'll go back up, maybe it'll go back up. No, we don't play that game here, all right? We're traders, not gamblers. We know if we don't bounce from here, okay, we wait for the next trade. So we know where our stop loss is. Where's our target? Well, at least the high, but I'd say 115 to 117. So we're planning out our trade. We know we're risking 1% to make 11%, which means if we have $1,000 in our account and we only want to risk 1%, we put $1,000 on the trade. If we take a loss, we lose $10. If we get a win, we make over $100. And we're planning out everything. You could even plan out the exact dollars that you want to put on the trade here, depending on your account size and your risk and all this. And so now what happens is you sit back and relax. Price starts to dump. You know, no worries. Starts to pump. No worries. You don't care because you're not planned for any of this crap. But it comes down here. Now you get interested. Now you take a look at Market Cipher B. Take a sip of your coffee from your Market Cipher mug. Look on the back. It's empowering traders. Wow. That's cool. And you see, look, if I see what I want to see, then I'm going to take my trade. I know how much I'm risking. I know how much I'm going to get. And over time, this is how you're going to hit those markets, all right? No more predicting. No more long in the breakout. No more shorting the breakdown. You know, you got to wait for those trades to come to you. It's like fishing out in the lake. You know, crack open a few cold, sparkling waters. Just wait for those fish to bite, baby. All right. Now, the same is true for shorting. The same is true for shorting if we got to pump up to our 786, right? These are two localish trades I'm looking for. Now, here's the deal. If we do break out and, well, there's a lot of things that could happen, which I'm going to go over in the VIP New York Open live stream. After this stream, guys, in the Casper crew, I am going to be doing a VIP stream where I'm going to be giving out my local analysis and setups. But I would say this, like, generally speaking, if we can hold above 109, I'm expecting 115 to 117 to come very quickly. All right? It could come very quickly. Because remember how we were talking about the liquidity and how these are the stop losses that the market makers go for before the reversal? Well, guess what? We have the same exact thing to the upside here. We have the same exact thing to the upside. We have a series of lower highs, 3 zones of stop losses here. We have the stop losses from the early shorters this morning. Plus, we have the stop losses from people who shorted the exact top. All right? Now, you might say to yourself, Jason, who could possibly have shorted the exact top? Well, your boy, man. Look at this. Look at this. Setup given in the Casper crew in advance from the exact top, baby. Wow. Whew, man. Now, if you want to join the Casper crew, you can go to jasoncaspertrading.com. Also, if you want to trade on BLOFIN to get 20% cash back, link in the description. If you want to trade on WEEX with very low fees, link in the description. If you want to trade on ANTARCTIC, extremely low fees, lowest in the game, plus decentralized, so you own everything on your own wallet. You're not depositing your money into someone else's platform. Link in the description. All right, I'm telling you, it's like, it's juicier than these yellow squash. Man, these yellow squash, I'll tell you, they are so good. Praise the Lord. Praise God for these yellow squash. I chop them up, I throw them on the grill, and I eat them. And they're good, and they're filling. They're filling, all right? You want to be shredded? You want to have jacked abs? Like this? All you got to do is eat some yellow squash. All right? Because I'll tell you, you can eat as much yellow squash as you want. To the point where you're so full you can't walk. But you're not going to get fat from it, I'll tell you, all right? In fact, you'll feel good. You'll have the best poops in the world. Man, it's something else. I'll tell you, it's something else. All right? Also, make sure to eat some red beets and some garlic while you're at it. You want to smell bad and look good? Squash, garlic, and beets, baby. And potatoes. And eggs. Alright, honestly, if you just ate these things here, squash, potatoes, eggs, beets, and garlic, you would smell bad, but you'd look good. Alright, then you do an experiment. Alright? See, do the ladies still like me if I smell bad and I look good? In my experience, yes. I'll just tell you. In my experience, yeah, man. All you dudes out there with your perfumes and your colognades, that stuff's gay, bro. Just eat some raw garlic. Put the raw garlic under the armpits. It kills the bacteria. Alright? And the red beets, man, that's good for the blood flow too, if you know what I'm saying, man. Alright? Now, where are we? How did we get here? We got a super chat in the house. Major shout out to Lost Liberty. Can we get an update on Telcoin? Yeah, why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? We'll do some Telcoin. Ads in network. He says I'm a clown. Bro, I'm not a clown. You know who I am? You know who I feel like? I feel like SpongeBob, bro. When I get my uniform on for the day, and I get to go work at the Krusty Krab, aka this treadmill, man, nothing could take the joy out of my life. Would you look at that face? The face of pure joy. Man, this ain't no clown. This ain't no clown. This is just a guy who takes himself way too seriously. Now let's take a look at the Telcoin chart. Okay? For our super chat in the house. Make sure to like the stream, guys. We got over 1,000 people. We only have 400 likes. Alright? We only have 400 likes. Vegetable poop comes out effortlessly. I'll tell you. That's so true. You eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, man. You ain't never gonna have to push again. Alright? Alright, let's take a look at Telcoin here. Okay, so, what do I see about Telcoin? I see this. I see double drive of bull div on the weekly. I see a change in market structure, making higher highs and higher lows. I'm seeing the support resistance flip that goes back to December 2020 is being flipped from resistance into support. I see that we are bouncing from the Fibonacci Golden Pocket 786 as we are also back testing that zone. Confluence with the value area high, so we know we're at key support. We don't want to lose this right here. We really don't want to lose this green box. So we'll clean this up. We'll just put our green box of confluence right here. This is going to be between 29.49 and 36.81. That is key support. It looks pretty nice. If we hold it, we're about to print another weekly green dot with money flow getting higher. A nice trigger wave after the bullish divergence. Looks like we're forming another bottom here on the weekly. It actually looks really nice for bullishness to the upside. Alright. It looks nice for bullishness to the upside. So if we actually bounce from here, this is good because this is now a change. We're not bouncing from the lower trend line. And we could break out of this thing and see us go for those highs. Alright? It does look pretty nice here. Now, of course, this is all contingent upon what happens with Bitcoin for the next few. Right? For the next few. Is this a good zone for Link? A lot of alts look like this. Yeah, so here's the deal right now. When it comes to the altcoins, I'm a firm believer that we are going to see an altcoin season that's going to happen. Alright, we're going to see a lot of altcoins pump. The big ones definitely are going to pump. Chainlink, XRP, Cardano, I think we're gonna see these things pump. All right, they are very bullish right now. The charts look insanely bullish. And I have to say, like, just the fact that we got a super chat from Cryptina asking to look at PopCat makes me feel good. All right, makes me feel a little good. Like, people are really interested in PopCat again. A lot of these charts look like they could pump like crazy. In fact, ETH tonight is going to print a historic bullish signal. All right. And even when I just look at PopCat here, look at PopCat, for example. Shout out to our super chat. We came down, very bullish divergence, and a change of market structure. We've broken out here. All right. Made our higher high. And we are coming down to the support within the golden pocket 786. So if we start to see now bullish divergence again on our daily, like that would be really nice into our 786. Or even just get a reclaim now of 31.93. That would look nice as well. So we're seeing a lot of these altcoins giving us bullish signs, bullish structure, bullish oscillators at these lows. In hindsight, it's going to be so obvious when all these things are pumping. We're like, man, how did we not see it? Right? It's looking good. We had our fake out. We had our fake outs in the end of 2024 for a lot of these coins. Okay, Bitcoin getting a move down. Bitcoin getting a bit of a move down. A bit of a move down on the Bitcoin right now. Smash the likes, everybody. What about Doge? Yeah, I think Doge is going to pump. I actually hold quite a bit of Doge as well. I hold quite a bit of Doge. I hold Doge, ETH, AVAX, Chainlink, Polkadot, Sol, Cardano. Did I say Cardano? Doge, Pepe, Shiba Inu, which is probably dead. Uh-oh. But yeah, that's pretty much the majority of my holdings. As we are waiting for Bitcoin to come take the liquidity down below here. Alright, from the trade setup given in advance in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. And we are going live very soon, guys, in the Casper Crew to go over our low time frame trades. Alright, jasonCasperTrading.com. So if you want to continue on with the low time frame analysis, head on over to jasonCasperTrading.com to continue on. Bitcoin will have perpetual futures. I didn't hear that, but that's cool, I guess. Finally, an American exchange doing that, huh? A short now is valid. Catrix wants to know if a short now is valid. Look, I cannot answer that question for you. What you need to do is go take the free course on YouTube. All right, go take the free course. This will tell you whether or not your short trade is valid, because depending on your plan and your everything will depend on whether or not a short trade is valid. There's no right answer to that question, and if you think there is, you're probably going to lose all your money trading. There's no right answer to that. I could give you a yes and give you reasons why, and I could give you a no and give you reasons why. You know? It depends on how you're looking at the chart. What is your plan? What time frame are you trading? Where's your take profit going to be? Where's your stop loss going to be? Like, there's so many factors that go into whether or not a trade is valid. You know? So I cannot answer that for you. I recommend you go take the free course. Guys, I'm going to head out. God bless everybody. In Jesus' name, thank you for being here. May the Lord bless you. May He bless your families. We're going to continue this in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. So with that being said, Lord willing, I will see you guys mañana. Peace.